have a toast to dreamscape, stranger.
This is where we split up. She can't be too far away.
So that's how it is.
Himeko, here.
Ah, perfect timing. Now that everyone's here, I'd like to introduce...
It's a pleasure to meet the Nameless.
You know.
I've been keeping an eye on you since the day you arrived in Penacony. We would have met under more appropriate... Please, allow me to formally...
Gravekeeper.
Life in Dreamflux Reef is pretty liberating. Everyone here mostly keeps to themselves, without meddling in others' affairs. My daily task...
You're too modest, Micah. When lost dream chasers stumble upon this place, you're the one who takes care of them.
So, on that note, Mr. Mika, which...
They're actually just symbolic stones. But since you're curious, Mr. Yang, I'll take you there. But before that, you have an important guest.
An important guest? Who could it be?
So this is the so-called freedom of organic life forms.
There she is.
Everyone sang so wonderfully.
Oh, I can't thank you enough, Robin.
It was nothing, Grace. Life must be quite difficult for them.
That's right.
Whenever it's time to say goodbye to these kids, they're reluctant to leave. But I've explored every corner of
Emma and Andy are orphans I took under my wing. Carol there with her If we compare people to birds, these kids are like fledglings with impaired wings. And me, an old lady with no legs.
I'm glad that you found a new life here and
Don't worry, Robin. Dreams have their significance, but they aren't every... But you know what? Emma and Gary aren't plagued by their insecurities, and you see, in dreams we learn how to live.
And should our feathers be damaged, there's no need to covet an illusory sky in dreams.
It's a relief to see you safe and...
It's nice to see you all again, Astral Express crew.
Since you're here...
Ever since I returned to Penacony, my voice started to change, until it gradually faded away. But now it seems the root of the problem goes way beyond me.
The sweet dreams collapse.
While I was away from Penacony, the boundaries of the 12 dreamscapes kept expanding outward. But when later, I discovered the secret letters from the IPC ambassador, the land of the exiles, concealed by the family under the guise of death.
Hearing you speak, it sounds...
I hate to admit it, but the harmony in it's regrettable. But the family has experienced betrayal. The traitor, or traitors, this is not the strong defending the weak, but rather the strong exploiting the weak. A world without equality won't ever be favored by...
Could there be another force influencing the family's shift? And considering what happened with Acheron, it's difficult to conceive of...
I'd heard about what happened to the Xianzhou Alliance. But regardless, I cannot accept my home is moving towards the very opposite of what the harm... I must uncover the reason why Mikhail cut ties with the family. I've decided to forgo my role, and now...
Look here, brother. A little bird.
Looks like a fledgling Charmony, but Charmony doves don't live here.
It looks weak and frail.
This place is too dangerous for a fledgling. Let's take...
Okay. A bird.
I'll ask the family...
A cage?
Let's see. What is it that has captured... Oh, Paul.
I do.
Why?
Even if it's small and not fully feathered and can't sing, it didn't come into the birds. They should be flying free in the sky.
That's quite...
I think she's right. But if we leave it out in...
Ah, I see. As you probably know, Charmony doves can fly through the air. When they fly, we've seen this spectacle so many times that we think it's just something they can naturally do. But that's not. Their ancestors were too weak to survive on the ground. So, after countless attempts by many generations, one of them...
So, you mean...
Well, that's an idealistic way of...
I think people believe birds are meant to fly because...
That's an interesting...
For now, I'll keep it in a cage until I want it to live.
Well said, kids. It seems each of you...
We will take good care of it.
Yeah, but...
And what might...
What if this little I mean, if there are fledglings, and should we let them go back to the sky?
Talking in your sleep, birdie? Huh? Need a hand? Yeah. Happy about that.
Where is Robin?
I knew that was going to be the... Don't worry, your sister is here, safe and sound. If I were you, I'd be more worried about myself.
If you wanted to kill me, you wouldn't give me the
So, you figured out who I am, huh? No wonder you had...
choice.
You are aware of my plan and see through my act. I'm suggesting we
Cooperate?
The fact that the famous Robin has chosen my side. Plus,
I find it hard to believe a man who's full of deception.
fine. You don't have to trust the sense of justice inside it.
Show me Robin first.
All right, as you...
Huh?
What's your trick this time?
Just kidding.
And the crew, too. There are two...
That'd be great.
This is the monument I mentioned earlier.
Rosalina, and...
When Penacony was known as a frontier prison, it was the Trailblazers who connected it with the star. However, today, the planet of festivity...
If their names are inscribed here...
According to Micah, they died.
Rosalina was killed during the War of Independence. She ventured alone into the heart of the star system. Tiernan was a skilled gunslinger, strong and reliable. In the decade following the war, Penacony faced challenges internal and external.
Though I had expected as much,
True to the title of Trailblazer, they spent their lives
When Dreamflux Reef was created, its owner was still alive. However, here we meet again.
Robin.
I promised to give the siblings some privacy, so let's talk about...
That sounds sensible enough. Since you went through the trouble...
Oh? Is it that obvious?
the look on your face is practically screaming.
You're right, Mr. Yang. The siblings already know what they need to, and they've made their choice. Before we begin, let me reintroduce myself. As Gallagher, the history fictionologist, I humbly...
History fictionologist?
Well, don't worry. Almost everything I shared was true.
I double-checked with Micah, and everything he said about the...
Thank you for your understanding. Now let's get down to business. I'm sure you're all wondering why well, it all boils down to something very...
The Stellaron? But how is that possible? Penacony is a free-flowing interstellar hub. There are no signs of...
You're totally correct. So... I wish that were the truth. But if that were the sweet dream doesn't come out of thin air. If you think of the memory zone as the seed, creating to achieve this feat without the help of an eminent, and that's not something you can achieve with a simple wish. It requires in Azdana, the planet of festivities.
The planet of
It all started a long time ago, back when the Watchmaker and his crew liberated the frontier prison. They faced... The Stellaron first entered the Azdana system during the war. The Nameless warned everyone against... The turning point came after Tiernan's death. With 2 of the Nameless gone, the Watchmaker had to go to the front line. By the time a representative from the Montour system's family arrived at the Watchmaker's call...
And I suppose the family happened to...
Not just that. They knew far more about the Stellaron than the average person. Those 3 eras were known as the Age of Dreaming. The Watchmaker, who had been left in...
Then...
Remember the island in the ocean metaphor? The truth is, the Stellaron was never truly sealed. It existed in a different form within its people's lives. The opulent dream is built upon the decay of spirits, with a toxic elixir called pleasure, confusion, laziness, and cowardice. Weaknesses that plague humanity. Sadly, we realized this far too late. By then, the family had at my wit's end. I had to use the power of the Enigmata and sought refuge in this chaotic realm. Over the year, dormancy. That's its real name. We exploited a loophole. You see, regular people can't fall asleep again.
So this is the true meaning of the impossible.
It's not just that. Above all, I wanted to see what happens when the major factions engage in a...
So, the legacy...
If you want to consider the...
If that's the case...
That's a question for Mr. Wings. The Stellaron is still under the family's control, and as the head... Are you done talking?
It is the...
As I suspected. It's the embodiment of the family.
As for the person who employed its power, it is in fact...
Well, that was easier than I thought.
Correct. When I didn't have other options. The Dream Master has been... Moreover, Mr. Gopher...
What do you mean by that?
To be honest, my brother and I are also victims of the cancer of all worlds. We grew up as old, but I can't just stand by and watch Mr. Gopherwood become an enemy of the harm. I won't step on that stage and sing. No matter who the traitor is, or what orders they give me. For the paradise in our dream.
Indeed. As the head of the Oak family, I'm responsible for ensuring Penacony's promising future. Robin and I will head into... I'll fight alongside you. We'll put the Charmony...
The enemies you are about to face aren't like this old dog here, who can barely... Since our interests are aligned, why don't we team up?
We have always been following in the footsteps of our nameless predecessors.
Yeah, we Nameless won't back... that line up...
Rest assured, sitting on the sidelines isn't in our nature.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you all very...
The Charmony Festival is about to start.
Everyone, let's gather over here. We still need to make some preparations. I may have been quick to step up to the plate, but confronting the dream...
Huh? Even you're saying that?
He's the leader of the families of Penacony, and he has the entire power of the...
Maybe you can...
No, that won't do. Even if we count Robin as an ally, something... You're still carrying the keepsake, the IPC... Huh. I knew. As I suspected, this chip adventuring, if I'm right, he intends to use it to track your location or contact you when needed.
Aventurine? Is he still...
Remember what I said earlier? working with the IP. If negotiations go south and the family show their true color, the only question mark in all of this is Aventurine's current status. But the...
Good luck to you.
Well, you take care too.
Spoken like a true hero, even if the Dream Master is innocent. The
Don't you have something else to...
Why would you say so?
Before we departed, the conductor asked us to inquire about the 3 nameless in Penacony, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not enough to say meet. I've been watching over you ever since I received the reply from the Astral Express. And Miss Himiko, were you the one who repaired the Express and got it...
Yes.
And you two, young nameless, you have...
What?
You're full of energy. Please send my regards to... As for the last nameless, he embarked, disembarked, and on his deathbed, he told me to find the Astral Express and deliver... Come with me.
Back here again.
Sometimes I feel like you're still alive, old friend. Like you've still got so much to say. I've kept my promise. Brought the future trailblazers you've waited so long for. I don't know why you were so obsessed with that train. Don't let us down, old man.
What's happening?
Go ahead. His resting place lies in the garden up ahead. The first and last nameless Mikhail Char Legward.
Sure enough, the watchmaker is the third name.
The legacy he left behind was a dream bubble. I believe inside that bubble. After all, when I checked its contents, I found nothing inside.
Well, let's have...
Wait, seriously? How could a dream...
That old man always had this strange belief in the nameless and the trailblazer. I could never figure out what was going on in that old man's head. But this... that mischievous old...
Don't think that's the case, Gallagher.
Don't start...
Just as Mikhail believes in the nameless of the future, we unconditionally... There must be something contained in this dream bubble.
Well, I'm a follower of the Enigmata. That's why I understand.
Can I borrow your pet? I need to make a trip back to Golden Hour and check something at the dream. It's for Mikhail, and for the future of.
Welcome to the Reverie Hotel.
Greetings. We're the Nameless.
The Astral Express.
Yes, my companion's already checked in.
I see, but your companion said you wouldn't. And you...
Me?
He's my fellow trailblazer.
Oh, I see. Another one of the Nameless had a similar situation. Since there's a precedent, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm sorry, dear guests, but it seems I'm...
What do you mean?
My apologies. This is the first time I've encountered a situation like...
How about this? Give me their room number.
I'm afraid that's not possible. I need to verify...
How about you just...
I'm sorry, but there are strict rules regarding forced awakening.
So nothing works, huh? What?
Please be patient. We need to contact your companions.
And now it seems you need to confirm our identities before you can contact our...
It seems...
Oh, fudge. Look, nothing personal.
Please calm down, dear guests. I do recall that Mr. Sunday, the Oak family...
I don't think she's trying to give us a hard time.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Something doesn't seem right. I need to leave.
Sure thing. Dono seems pretty worried about his companions. I should give him some space. Stressing out about it won't help anything.
Everything here is so tall.
The Charmony Festival is about...
Hey! You guys...
Well, I didn't come all the way here
Well, back in my home world, Anaria, we have
Oh, come on! The Charmony Festival is a once-in-an-amber...
Well, you never know, right? Anyway, let's forget...
Unsettling things? What could possibly go wrong?
Relax. With a big event like this, there's...
Oh, that's a... Well, looks like I won't get any fudging...
Face recognition failed.
Greetings. I'm Cody of the Blood.
Hello. So, there's some... Do you think there's any...
What do you... I'm not sure where you heard those rumors. At present, all of the families are focused on making sure the
she doesn't appear to be acting. So, it's... Back already?
Hasn't she returned yet?
Nope. Neither the staff nor the guests seem to know anything.
I agree. Another unusual thing is I walked around the hotel, but didn't meet a single...
Well, I'll be forked. If I remember correctly, the head of the Oak family is that...
We shouldn't...
not so fast. If you ever...
Are you suggesting...
I wouldn't say do nothing. But let's stay put for... They don't want to attract unwanted attention from certain...
If I were a family member, I'd find an official excuse...
Of course, we don't need to walk into their trap. I gave a backup plan to the...
A secret signal.
That's right.
Oh, a concrete object can indeed help the memo keeper establish a connection with you.
I'm sorry, but it's one of my quirks.
How do we get into the VIP lounge?
This is where my street smarts come into play.
You can actually book a stay on credit.
You're the...
Yes,
We're the Nameless from the Astral Express. We wanted to check in. We've been waiting here forever, without any food.
Is this your idea?
It's called
I apologize for the inconvenience. Please wait while we try to contact Mr. Sunday.
Just...
Wow, this bar's something else. Certainly worthy of the planet of festivities.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, I have an order.
Has Donna's White Oak.
Oh,
If someone had reserved such a beverage, I would definitely remember it. It sells for...
that's strange.
What should we do now?
Oh, no need to rush. Let's see what kind of juice malts you all.
Wow, that's the most expensive. What can I get for you?
Anything you recommend.
Then I would recommend today's special, Glass Village. It's
This flavor. Dynamite barbecue with rocket fuel. Ooh!
Dynamite barbecue with rocket fuel. Is that...
As long as you're satisfied, dear.
Let's give the memo keeper another half-system hour. If she doesn't...
The situation is unclear. Something must have happened on the... It's unusual for the followers of the Harmony to invite us...
Actually, there's something else. As you know, the faction that follows the path of the hunt are some of the most dangerous folks in the cosmos to mess with. I mean, isn't there a saying among the Xianzhou people that, the rain...
Talking. Do all the talk.
Well, you know what I mean. Even though the Galaxy Rangers have been out of sight for years, we've been keeping an eye on this region. But that Acheron lady, she doesn't seem like a lunatic at all.
And you believe that someone like her would have an...
I'm not entirely sure, but I do have my suspicions.
Anyway, what worries me more are the anomalies, unless the invitations weren't sent by...
Maybe it's Shipei the Harmony pulling the strings. People do stupid things out of irrational impulses, but Eons don't.
You think Shipei's will is behind all this?
It may not necessarily be Shipei. It's much simpler when you boil it down to the...
But in my opinion,
Oh. So you're saying the Nameless now have to take responsibility for their own choice?
Exactly. I believe it's more about doing your best to choose the right path for your...
I don't know what you've been through, but I agree that that's why the Galaxy Rangers need to uncover the impossible. Just in case. I have a backup plan if the memo keeper doesn't...
You sure have a lot of
Well, go... By the way...
What's your...
It's simple.
No need for that.
Wait. Are you...
Are you leaving, esteemed guests? Would you...
Huh?
Ha ha. Looks like you are a bit intoxicated.
Looks like you're...
Oh, right. Sorry, I'll be waiting for it.
No mistake. That's her message to you. She knew the hotel...
Well, looks like we took a detour, but...
You're back? Two guests just boarded saying they were looking for...
Oh.
Two guests?
Yeah, or two. Look, we welcome all passengers on the Astral Express, but sneaking in like that, you have no regard for etiquette.
My apologies, conductor. It was an oversight on my part. I assumed you were already acquainted with the garden. Given the chaotic situation in Penacony,
You are the memo keeper.
Pleased to meet you, Dan Hung. I've seen you in others' memories. And as for Boot Hill, this is our first face-to-face meeting.
Finally, memo keeper.
That's precisely what I intend to do. But before that, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Black Swan. I'm sure she knows it better than I do.
Greetings. I'm
What? You Garden of Recollection shirtbag!
I apologize, but she did that at my request. Due to certain reasons, I have been exiled by the family.
To be honest, it was more like stalking than helping.
I asked her to guide me to a place beyond the family's reach and to contact a few trustworthy individuals. Namely, all of you.
Trustworthy? Son of a... How about this? I'll put a few bullet holes in your head and see what secrets spill out.
It doesn't have to be like that. I'm willing to answer all your questions, but not right now. If my cover hadn't been blown, we might have had more time, but at the moment, we don't have any other
No other options.
This is the only way I can ensure everyone's safe. I kindly request an immediate warp jump out of the Astana star system.
This passenger is
As far as I can tell, she's not a threat, and...
I've briefly traveled with your companions and know their whereabouts, Danheng. Please rest assured, your nameless companions are safe. As for Boot Hill, you may have guessed, I've been waiting for you. Galaxy Rangers are known for their elusive nature and limited contact with each other, so this was the only way I could reach out to you. Only by doing this can I find a true Galaxy Ranger and fulfill a long-standing to return his relics to their rightful. Someone once told me that every raindrops are said to be the tears of the gods, shed in so. How long has this rain been going on for?
I used to believe, just like you, that it would eventually. Looks like the god you mentioned doesn't. Well, mortals who walk the paths are like sailors on a vast ocean. And for some, they're present.
Like those shadows on the ocean.
Sin-thirsters. The obsessions of the Pathstriders. They emerge from the nihility and head toward. They were once my dear companions.
Are you watching over them?
Watching over them? No. It was a brutal war. A crusade that shook the universe. The unwavering determination of the Hunt followers persists even in death. As for me, I've suffered to...
But you know these
Does this seem... Well, some tasks have to be done.
I can help you.
For what?
For the meaning of the nihility.
I see. Thank you, stranger.
Before we part ways, it is true that their actions and even their entire lives, if this is what the departed ones expected.
A good question. What I do know is that someone will stand at my grave